Hello there!
Hi, how are you?
I'm back with more updates on Project Shadow. In my first devlog, it started as a declaration to have a published game, but over time, it ended up being pushed to the side. After revisiting it recently, I have some updates that I want to share and document. I'm not sure how often I'll be uploading about the project, or if I'll be making devlog style videos, but I at least wanted to share the progress of development as it's happening. In the last video, I went over everything I did up until the point of revisiting the project, and I left off with combat. So picking up from there, my combo system needed a bit of an upgrade. I had the foundation for heavy attacks, but the system didn't really differentiate which attack was which from the input. Because of that, I was basically only working with light attacks, and I couldn't properly assign specific animations to light or heavy attacks. So I changed things around so attacks could be more clearly defined. Now the system can tell the difference between a light attack and a heavy attack, which gives me more control over how attacks are assigned and how combo branches are built. One thing I've been excited to implement is the tag team system for Cole and Shadow. There will eventually be at least 5 weapons to choose from, but when Cole is unarmed, he uses Shadow Arts to take down enemies. Shadow Arts is like mixed martial arts, but utilizing Shadow for some cool combos. Using placeholder Mixamo animations, I made a prototype combo branch for a 2-hit light combo and a light into heavy combo. I was super happy to get the foundation going for this because it started to show how Cole and Shadow can work together during combat. I also created hit reactions that can be applied to enemies. Right now, I'm using them on a target dummy with placeholder animations just to test the functionality. Later, I can hook up and tune better hit animations, but for now, this lets me test how enemies respond when they get hit. After that, I worked on hooking up and solidifying the stagger and stun functionality. The idea is that there are 2 weapons that do blunt damage: Shadow Arts and the Shadow Hammer. When using Shadow Arts, the player fills both the stagger gauge and the stun gauge. The stagger gauge fills faster than the stun gauge. Stagger is like a mini stun to help make chaining combos feel more rewarding. The Shadow Hammer works differently. The hammer only fills the stun gauge, but it fills it faster than Shadow Arts. The downside is the slower and more sluggish movement with the hammer. So I got the stagger and stun functionality working with some placeholder animations. The stagger lasts for a couple of seconds, while the stun lasts longer. The next focus was making things feel better. That meant soft targeting, so the player can lock onto the closest target, face them, and add a force to approach the enemy when attacking. This way, I don't have to line up attacks perfectly every time. First, I made it so Shadow spawns in front of the enemy when doing an assist attack. Then, I created the ability to add forward motion to attacks. Since I'm using a character controller that doesn't apply root motion, I have to update movement through code. Next was getting the player to face the enemy, which was pretty straightforward. Then, I worked on getting the player to approach the enemy when attacking, which made combat feel a lot better. I'm not a big fan of going back and forth between the console, the scene view, and the inspector in Unity, so I've been trying to have information displayed in real time as I'm testing things. A lot of the time that means adding information to the visual debugger or adding some kind of visual effect for what I'm working on. For the attacks, I added visuals to the hitboxes that show when attacks connect. Since I'm working with combo attacks and shadow assist attacks, being able to see hitboxes makes it easier to test timing, spacing, and whether attacks are actually landing. I then worked some more on the visual debugger because it felt like things could be better. I ended up reworking it so it has different tabs that I can cycle through to see specific information. I think there's better information I can display, and there's still some information I can clean up better, but for now, I mostly have the recent stuff I was working on, like the approach script and the soft locking. It makes it easier to test things in real time without relying so much on the inspector and the console. Now, the fun part. I'm back to animating. So here's how my combo branch works so far. The system can distinguish between light and heavy attacks, and each attack can be part of a combo tree. So to keep testing and solidifying the concept, I tried creating 3 attacks: a punch, shadow rising uppercut, and a backward hook kick. And I'm still not an animator or anything, but I'm trying. So now I have a test 3-hit combo. I've been looking at animation principles and videos, and I hear what they're saying, but sometimes it feels like it can be too much. So I'm just going to keep practicing and get a feel for it as I go. The punch feels off right now, but I'm fairly proud of the shadow rising uppercut and the backward hook kick. It could be better, but it also could be worse. But the main thing about this was making sure I can actually author the combos and hook them up into the system. And I gotta say, it feels pretty satisfying to see the sequence working properly. So that's the current state of the project. The combo system can now distinguish between light and heavy attacks. Shadow Arts has an early foundation. The tag team assist idea is starting to work. Hit reactions are functioning. Stagger and stun are hooked up. Soft targeting makes attacks feel better. And I'm starting to build my own attack animations. I can't wait to continue fleshing this out some more with combos and even better hit reactions. Until next time, I'm Michael, and I don't just dress to impress, I dress my games to stun. See you in the next video.